Hi everyone, my name is James Stagg and welcome to Tech This Out, a channel dedicated to composites and plastics. I started this project on making my own bulletproof armor about 5 to 6 years ago, and over the years I've learned and developed some of my own techniques in use of composites and plastics, and I figured I should share it with the world on some of my discoveries and some of the things that I've figured out along the way, and also interested in making other types of gadgets other than just bulletproof armor. And so I'm opening it up for people's suggestions on what they might want to see built. And so even if you're not necessarily interested in just bulletproof armor, maybe you're a cosplayer or play some form of LARP or something, and you want a nice type of armor that looks medieval possibly, but you want to make it out of some sort of lightweight plastic, well, I can help you out with that. Also, if you're interested in other types of gear, from fireproof gloves to impact absorbing plates that you could use for cycling or free running, you name it, we can make it. Or if you want to stay true to what I'm building, it would be a bulletproof hoodie or a type of bulletproof vest. Now, there is something to be said about that. Obviously it's a lot safer and a lot wiser to buy an actual vest online rather than try to build it yourself. But you might be interested to see some of the results and maybe spur some ideas, in that field. Hopefully one day I'll have something worth patenting and have something marketable. But in the meantime, I figure, let it be open to some of the plates or some of the projects that we could do together. So anyways, I figured I'd go over some of the things I've made in the past and kind of talk about what my first project online will be. This was Kevlar and undercoat polyurethane resin, and that's actually ballistic Kevlar. If you notice the shape I was able to mold it in, this was a simple plate design, something I just wanted to test using polyurethane resin in conjunction with Kevlar, because Kevlar, especially ballistic Kevlar, is not easy to wet out, meaning to impregnate with certain types of resins, and this was a very thick resin, and so it made it very difficult initially, but I was able to do it, and as little as 6 layers of Kevlar with polyurethane resin was able to stop 9mm rounds. So it was incredibly lightweight, still flexible, rubberized, and could stop all sorts of different other threats. This is a hollow point. You see the telltale flattening, and this is a full metal jacket that I shot at it. Anyways, but like I said, along the way I've discovered a lot of other different techniques, and most of the time you don't need expensive or fancy equipment to actually mold the stuff. You just need to be a little in the know-how, figure out exactly what you want to build, and from there you can design and develop it. I mean, most plastics can be heated to the point that you can mold it with simple molds in a vacuum in your oven. I mean, you can develop your own or build your own heating element for use of molding, or buy one online, but most of the time you can just use your oven. And we'll go over different stuff like that, because I'm also building different apparatuses and stuff to help me with molding larger pieces, and my biggest goal is to make a full suit of bullet resistant armor. And I'm also getting into developing my own ceramics using tungsten carbide and clay. I'll go into that once we get to that. But for our first project, I figured we would focus on something that you may have seen before. Well, I know you've seen it before, but you may have seen projects on it. This is HDPE. This is what they make water jugs, milk jugs, that sort of thing out of. Doesn't absorb water, incredibly lightweight, and very, very durable, and has pretty good tensile strength, a little bit of creep problems, which are mechanical things that aren't really what we're going to be after, because we're not looking at it as a structural piece. It's going to be an energy absorbing piece. But anyway, so HDPE, we'll mold it into a plate, and we'll fiber reinforce it with just nylon paracord. This increases its ability to withstand shock and also keeps it from fracturing. Once you hit it hard enough, HDPE starts to break up, similar to ceramics in a way, or glass. It takes a lot of force to get those cracks. But when you have fibers reinforcing in it, in particular nylon paracord, or at least what the experiments I've done, you'll see that they hold together so they can take more force, more impact before they finally completely give. So we'll make one probably about an inch thick. That'll be, hopefully by the end of the week, I'll have a plate up showing you guys how to do that. And from there, you know, any projects you guys want, I will also work with plenty of other tape fabrics. Like I've mentioned, ballistic Kevlar, of course, carbon fiber, fiberglass, of course, and also thermoset resins. This is epoxy. We have some polyester resin, polyurethane, stuff like that. I've worked with plenty of them in the past. So if you ever want me to review what I think is the best for impact resistance or, you know, structural stuff, if you're looking at something that you need higher tensile strength, we can go over all those different features, because there are a lot of different strengths when you talk about a plastic. There's, you know, tensile, obviously, which is toe, or typically described as the structural strength in a lot of ways, because it's the load strength in a lot of ways. It's how, when you're pulling the fibers. Then you have toughness, which is its actual impact. You have elasticity, right? Plasticity, which those are very different. There's an elastic stage and a plastic stage before you have a break. And understanding those, each plastic has slightly different. And funny enough, most plastics don't actually have a very good plastic stage or a plasticity stage. And so understanding what each of these strengths mean and how each of them are different, and how fibers also have different strengths in that aspect, when you join them together, you can make very interesting materials, some of which aren't on the market, that you can build right at your own home, like taking polycarbonate laminate, taking fiberglass, even though there is fiberglass, reinforce that. So we'll use Kevlar in this example. Heating it up, vacuuming the laminate into the actual structure of the fibers by heating it right at its melting point. You can do that, and you could build it up from there. And you would end up with a laminate with Kevlar and polycarbonate, which is bulletproof glass, or well, used in bulletproof glass. And you would have a new material. And it's pretty amazing, the different combos, and that's just using solid plastic, not thermoset, which is a two-part mix typically, or air dry. So suggest things you would like to see me build. Please like and subscribe, of course, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the projects. All right, my name is James Stagg, and this is Tech This Out.